Hello and welcome to the Blackwater podcast. We've got something a little different that, if I'm being 100% honest, you're in for a treat because this was my favorite podcast we've recorded up until this. I had so much fun recording this. And that is because I was the boss and we decided we were going to do the Blackwater podcast Mastermind. Now, I'll explain the rules in the actual podcast if you haven't seen the show, mainly if you're not from the UK, 'cause apparently this is a British thing. I thought it was around the world, but apparently not. But it's basically a big old quiz, and we will put Nick, Hugo, and Vitor to the test to see who really is the brainiest out of all of our very not smart co-hosts. But not going to leave too much in it. Just if you're enjoying this, please follow, like, share it with all your friends so all of our bad opinions can get to everyone, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to whatever episode this is. We lose count after like the second episode of the Blackwater podcast. We're here finally for like what feels like the first time in fucking ages with everybody here. So, how has everyone been the past 2 weeks? It's been 3 weeks since I've been here, but 2 weeks since we've recorded anything.
You might have seen me comment a lot of hockey stuff on Twitter. Been very, very excited about my Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's probably the most exciting thing in my life right now, other than my girlfriend. Shout out, girlfriend. But I mean, my studies are almost finalized. My test is in 2 weeks on the 18th.
Good luck.
I feel like studies have been going well. I feel confident. So yeah, there's not much to say.
I wish when I was in school I could have actually studied like you. I could not be bothered to study.
Listen, I wasn't always this student. I had to, improve, I guess, as a student. So I'm not sure where you are with your academic life right now, but it is never too late. It is never too late.
I'm finished it unless I decide to go to uni in later life. But Nick, what have you been up to?
Been moving houses.
That's good. Is it good?
It's a nice house. So I'm still settling in. So
that's good.
But no, the last couple of weeks have actually been really good.
That's good. Always good to hear. I've been having a very big trip, which is I went to Sweden for Muscle Rock, which is a very good.
How did that go?
A very good festival. It was a bit crazy. I won't mention everything that happened because I don't want my friends hearing this and thinking I'm bad mouthing them. But some crazy shit happened. We saw
friends.
No, good friends, just very, very drunk friends, I think is what you're realizing, because a ton of alcohol. I drunk over 4 days. I think I drank about 20 cans of cider, and that was seen as a little compared to everyone else. Like, I was one of the people that drank nothing. Like, people thought but I had a lot of hot dogs. I think we averaged around 7 hot dogs a day. That were very nice. That's something I'm jealous of Scandinavia. They have hot dogs everywhere, and we don't have that over here. I saw loads of bands. I saw a band I'll talk about later. It's not technically a 2025 album, but I'm going to mention them because I saw them and it was late 2024. So who gives a shit? But I saw Sabbath, the Japanese band, fucking awesome. I saw Metal Lucifer. I saw Graham Oliver's Army, which is basically just Saxon. I saw Candlemass. I saw Pentagram. I saw Mind the Sinner. I saw Alien Force. So many good bands. And a special band I want to shout out is Coven Japan. If you've not heard them, check them out, mainly because their guitarist was one of the best things. Me and my friend Ethan saw them and we were like, this guitarist is fucking awesome. And then their singer bumped into us when we were in Copenhagen and just decided to tag along with us when we went to Michael Denner's record shop. So very cool. I got a lot of records for very cheap that Hugo's very jealous of because he's seen the prices and Jesus Christ, so I was very lucky to find some stuff for the prices I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very good trip, and I will talk more about some of it later when we get to our 2025 album.
Well, yeah, we went to a good country.
Shut the fuck up. I've been to Scotland, all right? And Scotland's nice. I've been to the Isle of Man. Actually, where else have I been?
I've been to no, actually no. I've been to France. No, I've been to Florida.
Country.
No, I've been to Belgium's all right, but I only
Belgium
drove
is
through
not all right. Those motherfuckers are Hitler 3.0.
Says you. I've been to Luxembourg. Luxembourg's fun. Yeah. No, you're right. I did go to a good country. Denmark is very nice, but
no.
Denmark was nice. I nearly went to a theme park.
Bad mouthing your country? I'm confused.
I know.
Shut the fuck up.
Even amidst it, I landed in Denmark and I went, oh, he went, oh, you've landed in a great country. And I was like, yeah, I did. I landed in Copenhagen.
Fire.
But it's not a lie. It happened. And what the fuck was that? All right. So what we have planned today is something that we're not sure if it's going to work properly or not, but we may as well try it because that's what we're doing in this podcast. We're trying stuff. But we are, if you're in the UK, you'll probably heard of this game show. When I mentioned it to these three, they had no idea what the hell I was on about. So I think it might be a UK only game show, which is Mastermind. Basically, it's just trivia. These guys will have a specialist subject, which they picked a band that I found questions for. And then it'll be general knowledge around, which is just random knowledge about different artists and stuff that's in the rock and metal sphere. I've tried to vary it to be different types of rock and metal, but mostly what we talk about on this podcast. So, you know, there's no metal, there's no like metalcore, there's no deathcore, there's none of that. Mostly stuff that we have constantly talked about on this because I think people will like this. Some rules before we start, because I know people are going to kick off some of the questions I've written and stuff because it's you three. One, whatever I say goes. If I say it, unless you can pull up proper proof that I've got something wrong by accident, stop arguing. You will be deducted a point if you argue back. Two, don't talk during other people's rounds, because if you talk during other people's rounds, I won't be able to hear them. Three, the way this works, you either answer or you can just say pass. If you just say pass, I will skip the question completely. If I can start reading it and you can say pass if you don't think you get it, save some time. If you answer and you answer wrong, I will tell you the correct answer, which will eat into your time. You can answer before the question's done, but if you get it wrong, tough shit, you lost that question. There are 20 questions for each person. If you get to the end of it, good. Nothing for getting to the end of it. So don't feel any need to properly rush, but that's basically it. So is everyone clear with everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
And also speak clearly, like speak slowly and clearly, because if I can't hear you, then, well, I won't get it. So the one I've got first up here is Nick. So Nick, you're going first. Tough shit.
All right. Fuck you.
All right. Nick, can you tell everyone what the band you chose was?
I believe it was AC/DC.
It was. You ready?
Yes.
Wait, let me just work out the timer. All right.
Wait, hold on. Can you hear me right? Fine.
What do you mean, can I see you all right?
I mean, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Okay, cool.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Which song tells of a woman who is working double time at the seduction line?
Fuck.
Blood froze.
Can you repeat the question?
Which song tells of a woman who is working double time on the seduction line?
Oh, fuck, I know it, man. Oh, it's too early. I can't think of the song right now. Pass.
Okay. Until a re-release in May of 2025, what was the only Australian album not to get a global release?
I believe it was either TNT or High Voltage.
So which one?
Or Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, which one? One of them didn't get another edition.
I believe it was TNT.
Correct. In which city did Bon Scott die?
Fremantle.
No, London. Why was drummer Phil Rudd arrested in 2014?
Hiring a hitman and methamphetamine charges.
Correct. Who was the original singer of the band?
Dave Evans.
Correct. What country were the Youngs originally from?
Scotland.
Correct. What is the name of the box set the band released in 2009?
Backtracks?
Correct. Which singer stood in for the band when Brian Wilson had hearing difficulties?
Wilson?
Brian Johnson.
Okay, Axl Rose.
Correct. What was special about the EP 74 Jailbreak?
Didn't know there was any special thing about it. I guess the song itself?
No, the songs had only been available in Australia beforehand. What is the name of the band Brian Johnson was in before joining AC/DC?
Geordie.
Correct. What unique instruments is played on It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll?
Bagpipes.
Correct. Who produced their albums Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and For Those About to Rock?
Matt Lang?
I'll give it to you. It's Mutt Lang. I'll give it to you.
I couldn't remember his name.
All right, Nick, you got 9. The first one was You Shook Me All Night Long, which starts with the line working double time on the seduction line.
Okay.
I think every other one you either got right or I told you the answer to. I think. But yeah, I'll happily send you the other questions. All right, next one I've got up is Opeth. So that's Hugo, you're up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hopefully you can do better than the 9. Hopefully you can do better than spending 40 seconds on the first question.
All right.
All right.
Let's go. Start.
In what country was the live album The Roundhouse Tapes recorded in?
Oh, fuck. Pass. I don't remember.
England. What is the first Opeth album to feature frequent collaborator Stephen Wilson?
Blackwater Park.
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
What prog rock singer did spoken word passages on the band's most recent album?
Oh, what the fuck is his name again? Pass. I don't remember his name.
Was Michael Ackerfeld an original member of the band?
No.
Correct. On what Catatonia album did Michael Ackerfeld sing lead vocals on?
Brave Murder Day.
Correct. What Swedish metal band did Martin Lopez play in before joining Opeth?
I don't pass. I don't remember.
What year was Opeth formed in?
1989.
No. 1990. The song for Absent Friends was named after a song by which British prog band?
Which song?
For Absent Friends.
Oh, fuck.
Peak.
I don't remember, dude. Pass.
On the album My Arms, Your Hers, what is notable about the end of each song?
It has, they say the name of the next song.
Correct. How old was Michael when he joined Opeth?
17?
No, 15. What is the name of Michael and Stephen Wilson's side project?
Storm Corrosion.
Yes.
Correct.
Peak.
What was the nickname for longtime drummer Martin Axelrod?
X.
No, Legolas. What is the first album to have the album? What was the first album they had that had the album name on the cover?
Still Life?
Correct. What 2 albums were originally conceived as a double album?
Deliverance Damnation.
Correct. What is the name of the artist who has done every Opeth album cover since Still Life?
Oh, I forget his fucking name. Oh, yeah, I pass. I don't remember his name.
What Alice in Chains song did the band cover?
Wood.
Correct. What was the first album the band won a Swedish Grammy for?
Ooh, I don't know, actually. I'm going to guess Blackwater Park? Or maybe
Damnation.
Those Memories? Oh, Damnation, yeah.
What animal is
That makes
shown on the
sense.
cover of the album Sorceress?
A peacock.
Correct. A cover of the band's live album at the Royal Albert Hall is a tribute to which hard rock band?
I don't remember.
Deep Purple. I'll ask you there's only one more question left, so I'll ask it to you. What flower is shown on the cover of the band's debut album?
Orchid.
Oh, come
Correct.
on.
Look, all right, I was hoping you get confused and forget it's an actual
That would have been funny as
Also,
hell.
by the way, fucking Nick missed out on so much of the easiest questions, which are right at the bottom, such as what Marvel film did the band do the soundtrack to? Which I'm guessing you can get.
My
probably
dumb
can't.
ass 40 seconds of the first question.
What Marvel film did the band do the soundtrack to?
Oh, Iron Man 2.
Yeah. What album was considered a career revival for the band?
Razor's Edge.
No, Black Ice. To be fair, Razor's Edge also
Oh.
fits, but Black Ice was the one that's widely regarded as the. But
How
no,
many
you
did I
basically.
get? How many did I get right?
You got
but-
9. You got the exact same that Nick did,
Oh,
but you
damn.
just got a lot more wrong than he did.
Both are right.
The Roundhouse is recorded in England. Ian Anderson was the prog rock singer that did the Spoken
That's
Passages.
fucking name, dude. Fuck.
Amon Amarth was the band Martin Lopez was in before joining.
Oh.
Genesis is what For Absent Friends is a reference to. I think everything else you either got or I told you the answer to.
What's the fucker's name?
Travis
who makes
Smith.
their album
Travis
covers?
Smith. Travis Smith.
Yeah.
Travis Smith. But yeah, a good showing. But yeah, Nick, you also missed out on the. By the way, if you're getting mad at me doing the awkward one of your questions was, "What is the usual outfit Angus Young wears on stage?" That you missed because you spent 30 seconds on the first question.
Shut up, bitch. Fuck you.
All right, Vitor, do you want to tell everyone what your specialist subject was?
I think I said Porcupine Tree. Might have been Steven Wilson solo.
Porcupine Tree and
Porcupine,
Steven
yeah.
Wilson. I've kind of incorporated them both purely because I found it very hard to come up with questions just for Porcupine Tree.
It's okay.
Because the other two there were trivia stuff for. This one I kind of had to work some stuff out myself, but
All right.
most of it I think is about the same difficulty. If it's not, I'm very sorry, but
No problem.
3, 2, 1. Who was credited alongside Steven Wilson for the orchestral arrangements on the Stupid Dream album?
Oh, I knew this. Pass.
Who joined the band as a second guitarist / vocalist on stage ever since 2002?
2002. Ah, dude. Guitarist.
Guitarist and vocalist.
Guitarist and vocalist. I always forgot guitarist names. Pass.
In what year did Porcupine Tree start?
87.
Correct. What was the title of the band's first release, an 80-minute cassette?
80-minute cassette.
Yeah.
80-minute.
Yeah.
Was it Comma Divine?
No, Tarquin Seaweed Farm. The band's 1990 EP is called Love, Death, and what?
97.
No, the band's 1990 EP is called Love, Death, and what's the last thing? Love, Death, and.
Is it Love, Death, and not Transmission?
No, Love, Death, and Mussolini. Which ex-King Crimson guitarist guested on the album Deadwing?
If you ask me about Rush, because Deadwing guitarist. Oh, dude, I cannot believe I don't know this. I'll have to pass. I can't believe I don't know that one.
What was the inspiration for the song "The Incident"?
The Incident, wasn't it? I watched an interview on this. I think it was a car accident.
Correct. What band was keyboardist Richard Barbary in before Porcupine Tree?
Face Warning?
Yeah. No, but what was he in? What band was he in before Porcupine Tree?
Yeah, I'm guessing Face Warning.
Oh no, Japan. Why was the album The Future Bites delayed?
The Future Bites is my least favorite work of his. I could not tell you. I know very little about that album.
Steven Wilson has gained notoriety in recent years for doing what to classic prog albums?
Making them more poppy, kind of.
I'll give it to you. The answer was remixing them. I'll ask one more question because I messed up on the thing. What artist is Steven Wilson's dog named after?
His dog isn't after David Gilmour?
No, it's David Bowie.
David Bowie, yeah, of course.
Okay, so you got 3. So
he's big on both of them.
Yeah. The Chris Thorpe was the guy who did the orchestral arrangements for Stupid Dream. John Wesley is the second guitarist and vocalist on stage. Okay. Adrian Belew was the King Crimson guitarist.
Yeah, I should have gotten that one.
And then
I
don't know if those were too hard or not. I was trying my best, but
no, they were good questions. I will admit, going into it, I was expecting more discography questions.
Yeah, it was
which
difficult.
I'm not shitting on you for that. I'm just saying my knowledge is way bigger on their discographies and background stuff like that. But questions about members that participated, I should have known those.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. Now
So
we are on to general knowledge, and for the 50th time, all right? Don't complain if you don't know the bands that I'm talking about. This is a list of general knowledge stuff I've gotten from. I made it myself. I got it particularly for stuff that I think we would know about. But this is like stuff from all over the thing, and I've randomized the entire list. So if it's bands you know, great. If it's bands you don't know, tough. All right.
All right.
So the scores as of now: Nick's on 9, Hugo's on 9, and Vitor's on 3. So Vitor, you're gonna have to do a proper comeback story.
Yep.
But you never know. All right, you ready, Nick?
Yeah, go on.
3, 2, 1. What is the name of the metal band with Ice-T on vocals?
Body Count.
Correct. What progressive death metal band lost their bassist in a car accident in Louisiana in 1991?
Pass. I can tell that.
What is the name of the vocalist and lead guitarist of Children of Bodom?
Alex Lahell. I don't know how to say his last name.
What is the FPS game that was rebooted in 2016 known for its metal soundtrack?
Doom.
Correct. What song is Mechanics by Megadeth based on from the Mustaine days in Metallica?
Four Horsemen.
Correct. How many lead singers have been in the Finnish band Nightwish?
3.
Correct. On what guitarist album did Devin Townsend make his first major vocal appearance?
Pass.
What band was Kirk Hammett in before he joined Metallica?
Exodus.
Correct. What band was Kiko Loureiro originally in before joining Megadeth?
Angra.
Let's go.
What Black Sabbath song was sampled for the Beastie Boys song Rhyming and Stealing?
Pass.
What band did ex-Death drummer Chris Reinfeldt form in San Francisco in 1987?
Pass.
What is the name of Blood Incantation's 2016 debut?
It's the one album I haven't listened to by them, so pass.
What band famously did the theme for wrestler Triple H?
Motorhead.
Correct. What band was formed after the breakup of the band Nihilist?
Pass.
Nihilist. What doom band went viral for their singer having a weird expression while singing?
Pentagram.
Correct. After leaving Cannibal Corpse, what band did Chris Barnes form?
6 Feet Under.
Correct. How many albums did Black Sabbath record with Ozzy before his original departure?
7.
8. What band released the single I Believe in a Thing Called Love, which was noted for the singer's high falsetto?
The Darkness.
Correct. What was the original name for Gojira before they were forced to change it for legal reasons?
Godzilla.
Correct. What artist famously designed the album covers for the band Yes?
I don't know his name. Pass.
Well, you got to your 20 questions as the timer ran out, so well done. Ones you missed. Atheists were the progressive death metal band that lost their bassist.
That's obvious, bro.
Steve Vai was the first.
If you give me that one, I would have gotten that one, bro.
You know what? As I said at the beginning, Bitter, these questions were randomized. You could have got these questions. I just randomized them right now before we started. Bitter, I'll minus you a point if you're going to keep being a fucking prick.
No, Steve, do it. No.
Steve, if he keeps, I've given him the yellow card. All right, I'll put him in for a booking. But if he keeps being like this, I'll be in for a red.
VAR next time.
Steve Vai was the guitarist that Devin Townsend made his first vocal appearance on. Sweet Leaf was the Black Sabbath song the Beastie Boys sampled. Autopsy was the ex-Death drummers band, which you should have got. Starspawn was the Blood Incantation's debut. Entombed was the band that was formed after the breakup of the band Nihilist. And I think everything else you got. Roger Dean was the guy that made the album cover for Yes.
Beautiful.
So what am I on now? 22?
No, you're on 20. Like 20 flat. Because you got 11.
Question. We have another after general or no?
No, this is the final round. So Vitor,
Holy shit,
you're
I'll have to go big.
yeah, you have to basically get everything right. Unless if wait,
That's
can
gonna
you
be
win?
hard as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
you
win.
can. You can. Yeah, you can.
win.
You can.
I'm
Well,
dude, that's-
let's see how Bido does first. All right.
He's
Unless
Unless-
Bido, or do you want Vitor to go next?
I can go. I can go. I can go next.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. What was the name of the bassist in Metallica before Cliff Burton?
Fuck, I don't remember. Pass.
What was the name of the band that
What
Vinnie
Cliff
Paul and
Burton?
Dimebag Darrell? Shush. What was the name of the band that Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell founded after the Pantera split up?
Fuck, what's the name of this fucking band again? I don't remember. Pass.
What was the original name for Kill 'Em All that Metallica were forced to change?
I don't remember. Pass.
What album released first? Deep Purple in Rock or Black Sabbath? Black Sabbath?
Oh, it's in rock, right?
No, Black Sabbath.
Fuck.
What country is the band Thin Lizzy formed in?
Ireland?
Correct. What is the name of the original drummer of Rush who left after their debut album?
I do not know. Pass.
On the new Pantera tour, how many original members are still touring with the band?
Is it 2?
No, 1.
Oh.
Before singing for the band, what instrument did Phil Collins play in Genesis?
I don't know anything about the band. Pass.
What was the name of the record label founded by Brian Slagle in 1982, known for the Metal Massacre releases and the first release from the bands like Metallica?
Founded by who?
Brian Slagle.
I don't know. Pass.
What French metal band played the opening ceremony in the 2024 Paris Olympics?
Gojira.
Correct. What animal did Ozzy Osbourne famously bite their head off in a 1982
bat.
show in
Bat.
Iowa? Correct. What band did Armored Saints singer John Bush join in the 90s?
I don't know anything about Armored Saints, so pass.
The guitarist of which 70s prog band went viral for recording covers of popular songs with his wife? Which guitarist?
Ooh, I don't know. Pass.
What was the name of Chuck Schuldner's side project formed in 1995?
Control Denied?
Correct. What is the name of the mockumentary released in 1984 about a fake rock band?
I do not remember. Pass.
From what band's song is Bathory rumored to have taken their name?
Countess Bathory by Venom?
Correct. Why was the name of Judas Priest's fifth album, Killing Machine, changed to Hellbent for Leather in the States?
I don't remember. Pass.
What death metal band changed their AI album cover in 2024 after heavy backlash from fans?
I don't remember. Pass.
After David Lee Roth left Van Halen, which singer replaced him?
Fuck, what's his name again? I forget. Yeah, time is over.
I'll give you the final one, which is of your favorite band ever. What was the original name for Dream Theater?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, of course I don't know that one.
Okay, Bido, you got 5
horrible.
correct.
Oh,
You
was
got
it
5
again?
correct,
Horrible.
which was better than Vitor did in his first round, to be fair.
No.
To be fair though, I got kind of unlucky. Like half of those bands I literally don't know nothing about.
Well, as I said at the beginning, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
I
complaining.
randomized-
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
He's complaining, Raph.
You sound like you're.
Varm.
All right. The ones you skipped, original bassist in Metallica was Ron McGovney. Damage Plan was the band that Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell did.
That's what the fuck it is.
Metal Up Your Ass was the original name for Kill 'Em All. John Rutsey was the original drummer for Rush. There is only one member of Pantera because
I
what's his face
forgot whether or
isn't it?
not the bassist was still in the band.
Yeah, he is. But Phil Anselmo's not an original member.
Oh right, I fucking
Because they had
forgot
a-
about
they had
that. I keep forgetting about their fucking like
Yep.
glam era. and
Yeah,
whatnot.
the good era of Pantera before they became shit.
They
Phil
don't-
Collins
they never
played.
had a good. They didn't have a good era.
Phil Collins played
What a
drums
shit.
in Genesis. Metal Blade was the record label that had the original releases of bands like Metallica.
How the fuck did I not know?
Anthrax was the band that Armored Saint joined. King Crimson and was the band with the 70s prog band. 70s prog guitarist went viral for his weird covers. This is Spinal Tap was the mockumentary release. Pestilence was the band that changed their AI album cover.
Oh, I didn't know they changed it actually.
Yeah, they did. Shooting was why Killing Machine got changed to Hellbent for Leather. and Sammy Hagar, which I think you got, was the
Sammy Hagar, the fucking guy.
yeah. I'm sure, guys. Yeah, Squashy's gonna hate you for that because Squashy loves Sammy Hagar with every inch of his heart. Okay, so Vitor, it's all up to you now. So to beat b1dd0, you need to pass 14. So you need to get 11. To beat Nick,
over 17.
you need to get 18 to 17 to tie, 18 to beat. Okay.
I've never been more locked in, Coach.
Are you ready?
On. I believe in you, Vitor.
Yep.
Hugo.
3. All right, everyone stay quiet because I don't know who it was, but someone talked during the last one.
It was me.
If you
No, they won't do it.
If anyone talks again, I'll minus points from you. Like I said at the beginning. All right.
My bad.
After b1dd0's gonna be fuming because I think b1dd0 will know most of these questions. Oh well. I offered him the final one. 3, 2, 1. What does Glenn Benton have burned into his forehead?
Oh my fucking god! Pass.
The Big Four of Germany is also known by which name?
Big who?
The Big Four of thrash metal in Germany is also known by which name?
Oh my god. Bro! I never listened to German trash. I'm thinking of the last one. Pass.
What country are the bands Behemoth and Vader from?
Oh, Poland.
Correct. Out of the Big Four of thrash, which was the only one from the East Coast of America?
Oh my god. From the East Coast?
Yeah.
I can't think right now. Pass.
What is the name of the scene where Melodeath's bands such as At the Gates and In Flames came from?
I passed.
What German band is known for their live shows with lots of pyro and stage effects?
Rammstein.
Correct. On how many albums did Max Cavalera sing for Sepultura?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6. What hard rock band famously released a coffin branded to their band?
Coffin hard rock.
Yeah.
What? I feel like I should know this. Pass.
What was the name of the famous demo tape Metallica recorded to get them signed?
I would not know that. Pass.
What is the name of Celtic Frost's 1988 album known for them taking a strong hair metal image?
Sorry, what year again?
1988.
Megatherium was before that.
Yeah.
Man. Parched with Thirst? No. Monotheist was later on. Yeah, I don't know.
Cold Lake. What band did In Flames be playing, causing a drastic change in their sound?
Song or album?
What band did In Flames see playing that caused them to have a drastic change in their sound? You can answer.
No, I don't know.
Oh, Soulfly.
Oh my god.
Dude.
So for the 4 German, I got it like 2 questions after. I don't know if you want me to say it.
Go on.
For the 4 German, Tankard, Sodom, Destruction, and Creator.
Yeah, but what are they known as?
Teutonic?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool. The East Coast?
Yeah.
Was it Anthrax?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man.
How did you not get the Melodeath one?
The Gothenburg scene. The Gothenburg scene. That was what I was like. The Glenn Benton has an upside down cross in his head. Kiss were the band that released a coffin with them on. No Life Till Leather was the demo tape Metallica recorded. I'll ask.
I did not know the Metallica one. Yeah.
I'll ask the other ones, and you guys can just guess them because there's about 8 more questions left. So why not?
Other than those 2 that I just answered, there were like for sure some 3 that I should have known.
Yeah, well, I'll give them to b1dd0 because b1dd0 I think is a bit annoyed that he's got on the questions that he didn't know. Because I've just realized what the next one is. He's going to be mad. The devil horns
will count through his final points.
Oh no, these aren't. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm just asking him. The Devil Horns are thought to have been made by Dio, but what 60s band used it on an album cover beforehand?
Coven.
What is the name of the drummer of Emperor who went to jail for killing a gay man?
Faust.
Yes. What band released albums such as Follow the Reaper and Hate Crew Death Roll in the early 2000s?
Shoulder Bottom.
Yes. Ozzy Osbourne snorted a line of what on tour with Motley Crue?
Cocaine.
No, Ants. What was the final album released by British death metal band Bolt Thrower in 2005?
Oh, Those Ones Loyal.
What singer joined Bloodbath in 2012 and has sung on 3 albums?
Nick Holmes.
What was the guitarist who left Halloween to form the band Gamma Ray?
What's his name? I don't even know, dude. I don't know anything about. I forget what his name is.
Kai Hansen. What was the
Kai
name of the
Hansen.
black metal shop? What was the name of the black metal shop owned by Euronymous?
I don't remember actually what the name of it was.
I've seen it, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, Helvetia.
Yeah, right.
What band was responsible for the 1987 album titled Scum?
87?
Yeah, what band was known for that?
Napalm Death.
Oh, Napalm Death. Yeah.
Napalm Death, yeah.
So yeah, if Bitter had taken the final one, he probably would have won. But
Yeah, dude, I got a bunch of like fucking like prog rock. I'm not into prog rock like that, dude. I got like fucking Genesis and shit.
I definitely thought I would have gotten more questions from your question bank than you for mine, because there was some that you missed that I had.
I offered him the Switch and he said no. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Bito.
What do you think it would fucking matter?
Well, tough shit. You should have realized it mattered when all of Nick's ones were like stupid fucking piss easy. Nick, you got fucking questions like, oh yeah. Nick got some easy ones wrong, but
the Aussie one.
Yeah, well, that was
winning.
Nothing. You get the satisfaction of knowing.
Wait, did Vitor get more than me or no?
No, Vitor got 5 over 2. Vitor got less in both rounds than you two got on your first one.
Let's go.
Vitor got less on both his rounds than you did on your second round.
Don't shame me, guys.
So the final score is Vitor got 5. You got 3 on the first round and 2 on the second. Hugo got 14. Yep, got
I'll take it, man.
9 on the first round, 5 on the second. Nick, you're not getting a prize for only getting half your questions right, because you got 9 right on the first round and 11 on the second. So you got 20. So everyone congratulate Nick. Give Nick whatever praise they want, I guess. I don't. Nick, Nick, give us a winner's speech. Give us a winner's speech.
Fuck you, Hugo. Vitor. I kind of knew you weren't gonna beat us. You and I after the first question. I'm sorry.
Vitor, we knew you had a 1 after the first 2 because you just kept skipping them, and I was like, Vitor, you have to get them right. So just guess. Like when it was at the Big Four, it was the East Coast one. I was like, just guess one. Like you're probably gonna get it right because.
Yeah, I know, and I guessed it after. I guessed Intrax.
Yeah, and then you got it right when you did.
Yeah, I got it right. Yeah.
Oh, we could hear your fucking annoyance as it went on and on.
Dude, I was so pissed.
To be fair, you should have gotten Damage Plan. You should have gotten Metal Up Your Ass. You could have gotten the Black Sabbath one correct.
Phil Collins.
You should have gotten Phil Collins. That's just a well-known fact. That's not even like a prog thing. You should have gotten the Pantera one right. Like how many bands still try. You should have got Metal Blade. You weren't really screwed. You just got them wrong, to be honest. Well. Although I think Vitor not knowing the Gothenburg scene might be the most painful thing ever.
I apologize.
But yeah, if you that actually went way better than I thought it was. I was waiting for like not to understand anyone, but. If people want to do something like that again, if people, maybe we get some guests on, do like a proper thing. Maybe we just do it as
we should do Jeopardy sometime.
Jeopardy's fun.
I think Jeopardy would be fun if we get a guest.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Call Grandpa again.
Well, with that, we're moving on to the next segment of our podcast, which is the 2025 album. We're going to start off I won't edit it around. We'll just do it first. We're just gonna have Vitor do his one, and then his our album thing, which you guys are fucking excited for, because it means Vitor's not here to talk about the album when he's here. So Vitor, can you give us your 2025 release that you want to talk about?
If you guys been seeing me on Twitter, you would know what album I'm gonna talk about, and it's The Orphan Epoch by Cosmograph. This album has me on a chokehold. My LP arrived recently with a signature, with an autograph by Robin, and it just made my week, my month, really. And the music is just phenomenal. I mean, I comfortably have it above Steven Wilson's The Overview for this year's best album so far. And I think for me to say an album is better than Steven Wilson's is saying something, I think. And yeah, I mean, Robin, the mind behind Cosmograph, has been in the underground of prog rock, prog metal for a while, and still is. And I think it's criminal. He has less than 5K monthly listeners on Spotify. Not that it proves much, but it is a form of measurement, and it's criminal because he deserves way, 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 way more. If King Crimson was making the music today that he makes, they'll be, obviously, I wouldn't say massive, but they'll be applauded for it massively, because his music is beautiful. And this new record might be my favorite work of his, which is a problem because I have one of his albums in my top 50 albums of all time, The Capacitor. I think he's in the 30s. And I think I have The Orphan Epoch over Capacitor. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to place it above it in my top 50. That's too early, but it's a phenomenal album. I think you would like it the most, probably, Connor.
What is it? Just normal prog, or is it hard rock? Or is
it has everything that you would want in a prog rock, prog metal album. It has melodies, it has bass, has beautiful guitars, beautiful drums. And playing everything is beautiful. He does everything himself except the drums, and his vocals are also great. But his growth as a musician as well, just so much better with his playing than in his shows. It's hard for me to pick a favorite song, but I'm probably gonna pick the Seraphin Rios, which includes sax. So again, telling you, it has literally everything you want on an album. It has melody, it's heavy, and beautiful solos. I can't say it enough. The album is phenomenal. And I'll just do my Temple Shadows review real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, this to me is definitely Temple Shadows by Angra. To me, might be my favorite album from Angra, and that's saying something. I'm a big Angra guy. Probably not as much as you, because big Angra guy, but I'm a big Angra guy myself. And
well, when you're
Temple
Brazilian,
Shadows,
it's kind of like you have to be an Angra
well,
guy.
so maybe that offsets, but yeah, I love Angra, and they're a pillar in power metal. This album is a pillar in power metal. I'll start with the cover. I think the cover is beautiful. I always love talking about covers, and I think this cover is very neat. The album, my only critique of the album is that towards the end it gets kind of
it drags a bit towards it. It could do with just being cut.
Yeah, it falls off a little bit.
I just think I'm going to mention while you're here, because you're the one that probably knows the history of this band as well as I do. It's like, it's weird that this album doesn't have either of their classic singers. It kind of has a singer that, like, people like, if people were to rank the singers, they'd rank him as the worst. But like, he's on their biggest album. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah. Maybe not their best vocal art or their best vocal work, but instrumentally, I definitely think so. Instrumentally, this album is.
What's the singer's name?
Edu. Is that Edu?
I just call him Edu. Yeah, it's Edu. I just call him Edu.
Yeah, but their first singer is the best.
Rip, by the way. Wait, was Andre the first one or no?
Yeah, Andre Matos was the first one, and then Edu was the second one that kind of brought them through their,
Which by the way, or Edu?
Yeah, He's amazing.
He's still good. Yeah, exactly. But Andre is just.
But yeah, I'll go through when we get properly to the point. I'll go through the more the history and backstory of the album and band for context. But
yeah, well, just to close my review on this, I think it's a phenomenal album, and some of my favorite songs in the genre of all time, songs like "Spread Your Fire," "Angels and Demons." "Angels and Demons" kind of has a death metal feel to it. The riffs, I mean, it's heavier than it usually gets for Speed. On the ears at least. I don't know if you have the same feeling as well when you listen to Angels and Demons, but there's kind of a death metal feeling to it. Not the drums, but just the guitars. Um, so I also love Wishing Well. Waiting Silence, I think it's phenomenal. Temple of Hate is phenomenal. Temple of Hate and Wishing Well, Waiting Silence, I think is a phenomenal sequence there. But I do think Angels and Demons and probably Spread Your Fire are my favorites.
well, we'll get more into that when we've finished our 2025 albums. But with that, Vitor,
Alrighty.
you're. Well, see you next week.
I apologize, boys. Just gotta get through some stuff.
No problem.
Goodbye,
And
Vitor.
good episode.
Yeah.
You'll catch some of me in Jeopardy. Don't worry.
Definitely, whenever we plan to do that.
Yeah, I'll catch you, boys.
All right.
Goodbye, Vitor.
Hugo, what's your 2025 album?
So my pick for the 2025 album is an album called The Convalescence Agonies by a band called Weeping Sores. Now Weeping Sores, it's a side project by two people in another band called Piron, which is like a dissonant death metal / mathcore band that I really like. And this is I think it's their drummer and their bassist side project or something like that. And it is a Death Doom side project. And I've heard because this is their second album, and I've heard their 2019 album, which I thought was pretty decent. But this is their new album, and I think this is, at least so far, my favorite album of the year so far. It's very heavy, but it's also almost like pretty in a way. Like it has a lot of violins and pianos and stuff. And I think it does it in a really good way. The riffs are really, really good. Like they're really, really heavy. There are certain moments where it, stops just being slow because it's doom metal, so it's slow a lot. But there are moments on it where they do some like blast beats, almost like kind of black metal sounding moments. I think the vocals are really good. They don't just like do like deep death growls. They do a lot of kind of like black metal screams and snarls and stuff like that as well, which I think kind of helps freshen up the sound. It's a pretty like emotional album. Like it is very much like sad death doom metal, which I personally really like. And I think they do it really well. Like there's a lot of emotion within the melodies and within the instruments, and particularly when there's violins and like the piano's playing. There's a lot of they do like the emotion of that really, really well. And yeah, I mean it's just everything about this album is great, to be honest with you. And it's not surprising either because Piron is one of my favorite modern metal bands, and this is a side project of people in that band. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. So I'm gonna give it over to one of you guys.
All right, Nick, what's your 2025 album?
So for my pick, I don't know how to say this album name. It's Tectolitarian by the band Eschaton or Eschaton. They're a US tech death band. But for some reason, on Metallum, it says they're deathcore, which I don't know why they're not.
But it's
But,
Metallum. It's not like Metallum's be all and end all of everything.
It's just like I don't know why it says they're deathcore. They're not. But like It's very. I don't know. The words are not coming to my mind. Hold on. It's like it's pretty just like standard tech death, but the production is just so good, and it just makes your ears just happy and all that. I can't think of the right words right now.
Yeah.
Also, the album cover is fucking sick.
But it's really you're like highly recommending it. It's a good.
Yes, I highly recommend.
Okay.
I checked it out purely because of the album cover.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. That's always good when that happens. So for my pick, I'm doing something that I told everyone here not to do for their last thing, which is I'm cheating because I never cheat on this channel. And I'm picking a 2024 release, but it released at the end of 2024, so I only listened to it this year. And also, I just saw them at Moscow Rock, so I want to talk about them. It is a EP by the band Templar, which everyone knows. If you know me, I've not been shutting up about them. An EP called Treacherous Beast. It's only 10 minutes long. Pardon?
This is me being a dumbass.
Yeah, like it's only about 11 minutes long. Only has 3 songs, but if you're kind of like me and you're listening to a lot of like modern bands that try to do old band like stuff, sounding stuff, everyone tries to sound like old British metal, and it's kind of boring after a while with everyone trying to do the same sound, cough cough, Interceptor. But this band do something different. You see, they're Swedish, so they went, why don't we try and do the old Swedish style of metal? Swedish trad. So it sounds amazing because Swedish trad's amazing. If you like bands like Europe, Heavy Load, Gotham City, Torch, those kind of bands, check this out. I saw them live. They were phenomenal. They are also the genuine loveliest guys ever. I'm not just saying, the album's good because they're good people. I listened to it beforehand and it was very good. But me trying to get their shirt was quite funny because I didn't get it on the day, and then I didn't realize they only sold the band shirts for the day they were playing. So I went up to their guitarist and I was like, "Hey, can I have a shirt?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure. Let me find Gustav." And then the rest of the festival was just me trying to run around find their other guitarist so I could finally get the shirt, which I luckily now have. But yeah, would highly recommend it, and I genuinely can see them properly going places. The reaction they had at Moscow Rock is great, and their entire set has been uploaded to YouTube. So if you want to kind of see them do a bunch of covers, I'm not sure actually what they were doing covers of. I think they were a bunch of old, probably old Swedish metal songs, knowing them. But if you want to check that out, would highly recommend searching that up and finding it. But that EP, if I had listened to it in time for last year, it would have been one of my top releases. So I just want to give it a proper mention now because I don't know when else I will probably be able to give it a mention. But yeah, Treacherous Beast by Templar's my pick. But yeah, for our album wheel for this week, as it's already been spoiled, we got Templar Shadows by the Brazilian band Angra. This is their 5th full studio album. It's apparently a concept album, but I don't really hear a proper concept in it, or at least I don't care to listen to a concept in it. I'm not sure if you two heard any difference, but I didn't really hear a story or.
I didn't really notice it. I did not think it was a concept album. Listen to it.
It was released on Paradox Music and SPV and Steamhammer. It was produced by Dennis Ward. It was recorded in Brazil and Germany. It was released on September the 6th, 2004. It has Edu Falashi, I guess. Again, we're having non-English speaking names here, so I'm sorry for my pronunciations. And also, we just got rid of the Brazilian in the call, so he can't help me. On lead vocals, we got Kiko Luero, who of course would then go on to join Megadeth. Unfortunately, on guitars and keyboards, we got Raphael Bittencourt also on guitars, and those two are kind of like a dual guitar team that are very underrated in my opinion. Felipe Androli on bass and backing vocals, and Achilles Plister on drums and percussion, and a bunch of what's it called? Guests. We have Sabine something. I'm not going to try and pronounce her surname. On No Pain for the Dead. You have Kai Hansen on Temple of Hate. You have Halmsey from Blind Guardian on Winds of Destruction. You have Milton Nascimento, who is a kind of traditional Brazilian artist on Late Redemption. A lot of different people play on this album, and you can kind of hear it. And before we get to more positivity about this, Bido, what did you think of this album?
So, this is the kind of album that I feel like the main reason why I'm not the biggest fan of it, as you guys are at least, is mostly just because I'm just generally not crazy when it comes to power metal.
Mhm.
And also progressive metal when it's not like progressive extreme metal. But that being said, the first song, or like the first proper song, this is an intro song first, Spread Your Fire. I think that song's a banger. I really, really like that song. I think that song's amazing. And then also, what was the other song called? I don't remember which, but I think it was, yeah, I think it's Wishing Well, that song. I think that song is really, I also really like that song. But overall, like, a lot of the songs on this album, like they weren't bad by any means, but they just like didn't really do much for me. Like it kind of felt, I guess you could kind of say, I guess kind of my issue with it is kind of like the same issue that I have with Dream Theater, in that when it comes to like prog metal for me, I want it to have like an element of like heaviness to it. If you like, I want to have like, some harsh vocals or some stuff like that. I think if this album had a few elements with some harsh vocals and like some few like more heavier extreme metal moments, I think I would have really liked this album. Now obviously that's not what this album is, because that's just not what they were trying to do, which is why I'm saying this album probably isn't for me. I also just think it's a little long. I don't think it needs to be an hour and 6 minutes. I think they could have cut it down by 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and it would have been better. I feel like towards the end it really starts dragging on. Like it has a 5-minute instrumental outro, which I really don't think was needed. I feel like it's just a little bit, like it really starts to drag towards the end, at least for me. Yeah, like I said, it's not necessarily bad. I just don't think it's for me. I just think I'm not the right person for this album. It's just simply not for me. That being said, the songs "Spread Your Fire" and "Wishing Well" I really liked.
That's fair. You're incorrect, but it's fair. I won't add like I've said that multiple times, but I do agree it drags a bit towards the end. I don't agree as much as you do that the 20 minutes should be cut from it. I don't agree with that slightest, but I will say,
I mean, I think the last like 3-4 songs can be cut, to be honest with you.
the last four, no, I think, I don't know. I think the last 2 songs could. I think I love everything else, but
yeah, you can we at least agree that they don't need the 5-minute instrumental
yeah, they
outro?
don't need a 5-minute instrumental outro. They also don't need the minute instrumental intro. They also don't. I think overall this album could just be trimmed down here and there to make it a lot more consistent, which they do better on their previous stuff, in my opinion. But Nick, what was this your first time listening to it, and what was your takeaway with?
This is not my first time listening to it. This is, I believe, my 3rd time. I kind of agree with the consensus that it should be cut down a bit, because it is definitely a bit too long.
I think it's not even just it's just too long. It's also the last couple songs are, in my opinion, the worst songs on the album. So it's not even like,
yeah, it feels like it's a little like bloated.
It feels like it's front loaded, and then they kind of lose steam as they go on. But
I think the last 3
I think
songs
it's very front loaded, because I think the first song is the best song.
Yeah, I think the last 3 songs should be cut, and I feel like the intro, the Dose Love, I don't know how to say that, should have been in the actual put into the actual first song, but cut down shorter. Like have like a 30-second intro, then if like that. But overall, no, I think it's a really good album. I like how it goes proggy sometimes. I don't hear the concept in it, so I'm not sure who said that it's a concept.
apparently it's a concept album about a crusader in the 11th century questioning the ideals of the Catholic Church. So there's something in there, and if you go on the Wikipedia page, there is a lot about the story. Like apparently, Waiting Silence is about him falling in love with a Muslim lady, having 2 sons. He's conflicted with a choice about filling his destiny or living a normal life. As his anxiety builds, the Crusaders of the Roman Catholic Church attack the city and the family he lives in. Like there is so much about the story on this. So maybe when I'm listening to it again, I'll try and find the story, because who knows, might add something to it. But
The only thing that I could possibly connect with like the whole Christian thing is they sing about like Lucifer and Spread Your Fire or something.
yeah,
They're like Lucifer is just a name, or there's some shit like that.
yeah, but the story itself actually seems, giving it a read, it seems pretty interesting about like the Crusades and dealing with religion and stuff. So maybe it would add to it if I listen back to it with it in mind. But I couldn't. It's not like The Wall or Operation Mindcrime where you listen to it and you're like, yeah, there's a story going on here. You can listen to this without the knowledge it's a concept album.
Yeah,
I
didn't think it was like I didn't know it was a concept album until you told me.
I only realized it was a concept album when I searched this up to like do a bit of research before we started the podcast. But yeah, Nick, what's your overall?
Sorry, that water. Overall, I think it's a good album. And I kind of agree with Hugo. I'm not like too big on power metal, but I like it more than him.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, yeah, it's a good album. I do recommend listening to it. But just the last couple songs are whatever. Like overall, I'd say it's like an 8 out of 10 album.
That's fair. If you couldn't tell already by how kind of happy I am that we're talking about this album, I adore this album. I think this album is phenomenal. It's probably my favorite Anger album. I think their first 3 are very good, especially Holy Land. Well, especially the first album. The first album's kind of just what's it called? Halloween Worship. The second album, I'd highly recommend to you to check out if you haven't listened to Holy Land. It's basically like power metal, but they add in a lot of their like Brazilian heritage into it, so it has a very unique sound to it. But this was their biggest album, and by quite a bit. Like this album did really well for them. It's seen as one of the best power metal albums of all time, and I'd be very inclined to agree. I will basically repeat what everyone says. Spread Your Fire is just one of the best opening songs in power metal. It bursts in, tells you exactly what you need to know. Done. I think Edu's voice is great during this, and I think one thing we haven't spoken about in this is Kiko and Raphael's guitars, harmonies, and dueling and stuff is so good. And it really makes me really sad they're both not in the same band anymore, because Raphael's still in Angra, and of course, as we all know, Kiko left to join Megadeth, which, in my opinion, he was wasted in. He tried his best, and some of the solos he did were great, but when you listen to stuff like this, you kind of realize him and Raphael kind of worked as one. It's kind of like when KK left Judas Priest, and it's like he's good on his own, but he's missing that connection, in my opinion. Another thing we haven't spoken about, I think that the guest vocals are done very well here. Granted, they are by 2 of my favorite people on this planet, so I'm a bit biased. But
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice the guest vocals.
Kai Hansen sings on Temple of Hate, which is amazing in my opinion. That's probably my favorite song on the album. And Hansi, especially on Wednesday Destination, does a very good thing on that kind of like ballady song. Goes on a bit long. I agree with everyone here. The album goes on a bit long. You just, by the end of the album, you are kind of just wanting it to end. I don't agree. 20 minutes should be cut from it. I do agree maybe about 10, 15 minutes overall about that, which is
I said 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love this album, and I can kind of look past a lot of its issues for just having a fun time whenever I listen to it. And I do stand by, from Spread Your Fire until Windsor Destination, it's a perfect album in my opinion. It's got great ballads, got great fast songs. The guitars are phenomenal. I don't talk about them. These 2 do not get talked about enough. I think Angra as a whole do not get talked about enough. And I also love how progressive this album is. I think it's still power metal at the end of the day, but then the stuff before it, the 2 albums before this, or the EP and the full album, they veer into Dream Theater ripoff territory, and I feel like this is them finding their own sound while doing that. So overall, I'd highly recommend this. Like within Into My Life, I think this is a phenomenal album. But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know how, if you played along with the quiz. Forgot to mention that at the start. I'll mention that in the intro thing. But if you played along with the quiz, how did you do? Did you beat us? You probably beat Vitor because
It's not hard to do.
No, you probably also, to be fair, you probably also beat Hugo on the second round, where that also wasn't very hard to do. But yeah, let us know how you did. Let us know if you enjoyed us doing kind of these game show type things. We always up for more ideas. I think, Jeopardy we've already mentioned, but we could also do like other game shows that we could do over, here. That could be pretty cool to do.
We could do like a guess the song thing. Where you play like 5 seconds of a song if you guess what song it is.
And you have to write it down and come up with stuff. Yeah, that could. But yeah, I think game shows and quizzes and stuff as a whole kind of could become much more of a part of our podcast if people do enjoy it.
I just thought of them. We could try and spell bands with foreign, like little
What, like
top
Hangman?
bands names. No, like we could try and spell like bands with like
Oh,
What are you saying?
no, he's saying like a metal spelling bee.
yeah, and we could try and spell like foreign bands names that like really hard to spell.
Oh,
That could be fun.
I'm gonna find like the most crazy. I'm gonna find a Swedish band with a crazy name.
But yeah, next.
No,
yeah, but
the rule is you cannot pick bands from your own country.
That's
That's-
fine.
yeah,
I can
that's-
that's fine. I can pronounce European languages fine.
yeah, but that's fine because you can just pick other Scandinavian countries. Like,
Yeah,
You
I'm gonna
cannot-
pick a Norwegian band or Icelandic
You can't
band.
pick languages you're familiar with.
what the hell's that? What the fuck? That's,
What kind of
that's
bullshit rule is that?
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
You see, Hugh, you're like multilingual, so you can't name anything. We see me and Nick. You see dum dums
Exactly,
over here that
exactly.
only know English. We can
Exactly.
pick whatever we want.
No, I know a bit of German,
Yes.
but
Fuck off! You don't know a bit of German. You know how to say probably hi. You probably went on Duolingo twice, learned it.
Are you
You had. So what? Are you not allowed to pick any German bands then?
no.
What do you mean no?
I
But you're
won't be
familiar
able-
with the language.
a little bit.
But
Oh shit, that is very normal.
I will say I
I'd
felt
have to
really
like, probably
bad.
read bands' names.
I will say I felt really bad whenever I went somewhere in Sweden. All our mates just could only speak English, and like someone would come up to us and talk to us in Swedish, be like,
Now,
"No English," and then they just
here's the
speak
thing,
English
though.
fluently.
Here's the thing, though, Connor.
Mhm.
People in Sweden, like Sweden is like the best non-English speaking country at speaking English.
Oh no, I know. Like we could just speak English and everyone knew what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that. It was just we felt like we should probably learn how to speak some Swedish because we just came up to them and we were like they were like told us like English, and they just speak English to us. But do you know Alvesta? Is Alvesta like a known place in Sweden? Or not Alvesta, Tyrolen. Or is it just around that
sounds
area?
familiar.
It's like a fairground.
I think I've
that
heard of
people. It's like a fairground people used to go to in like the 60s and 70s. It's basically where the festival was.
Yeah, I definitely heard of it, but I live on like the other side of the country, so
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if it was just like a more like a kind of like a legendary thing around the whole country or just in like.
no, I
That
think it's more of
area.
a local. I think it's more of a local thing because I haven't
no.
really like heard of it.
But yeah, if you're thinking of going to Moscow Rock next year, for anyone listening, I'd highly recommend it. Just make sure you are part. Like you don't go into it if you're not gonna like be part of like the trad metal culture, if that makes sense. Like if you're gonna be like there that don't really give a shit about metal, you're just there for fun. Don't come. Only come if you really give a shit, because most people there really do give a shit. But I also saw Castle Rat, which I forgot to mention. They were fucking. They had a sword fight on stage. They were fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, let us know if you enjoyed this. Let us know, what you'd like to see us do in the future. Let us know what your 2025 album releases are. Let us know your thoughts on Temple of Shadows and comment if Hugo is incorrect, because he is, and everyone needs to tell him that.
Bro,
But-
I said it's a good album. It's just not for me.
But
No, whatever, bro.
But yeah, but with that, probably end it there, and we'll see you all next week.